All right, Merry Christmas to those of you who are joining us. I know we've got somebody from California and Colorado, and I'm looking forward to seeing you. This is Sweetie Berry, and welcome to Conversations with a Cuppa. Tonight I have with me Edith, and I'd like to say good morning to her, or good afternoon to her in Colorado. Merry Christmas, Edith.
Merry Christmas, sweetie.
Would you like to introduce yourself to our people who don't know you yet?
Okay, Edith Johnston, as Sweetie was saying, I'm in Colorado, on western slope of Colorado. Lots of snow here, as there is across the nation. And my main focus is to be able to just help people that have gifts and don't realize they have gifts and wonder why they don't fit in. And so they can learn how to fit in and learn how to better use their gifts.
I love that. Sometimes we call that missing in action giftedness, and I love that because I think so many gifted minds and people with special talents do not realize just how special they are, and they don't fit in because they are different. And just as having learning difficulties might be different, having extreme giftedness is different too. And it's so fun to talk with people who have the expertise to share with us how that affects people's lives and how it might affect our own.
That's for sure, and I keep stumbling on more and more people, and it amazes me. It amazes me in the sense that they want to use their gifts, and yet they're totally confused about that. That's what they are, is their gifts to be able to be used, and they keep seeing the frustration of the intensities and their multi-interests and things like that as ways that they can't function, versus as just a way to be able to help them function.
But that's it exactly. You know, Dear Whimsy, the whole purpose of Dear Whimsy is to gather clever women together to restore, relax, and release some of the stuff like perfectionism that holds us back. You know, I work with a lot of clever women who are business owners, people who are mothers of multiples and mothers of one, who are more or less isolated in their playtime. And one of the things we really encourage here is to get creative and to functionally, plan for creative experiences in real life gatherings with others. So many of us are isolated through our career or professionalism of being a counselor, or psychologist, or consultant, where we can't share a lot of our work life, but we also are isolated just because of the busyness of life. And Dear Whimsy is a place where we can kind of come home to the nest, and we can find classes on creativity, we can take classes on self-awareness, we can gather together like this on Conversations on a Cuppa once a week, and there'll be different groups of this, but the main group meets on Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. Edith, it is Christmas night, and we wanted to gather as women because so many times we're so busy during the holidays, whether it's Hanukkah, whether it's Christmas, or what you celebrate in your world. The bottom line is there are lots of people tonight who've not seen another living soul but the children and the adults they live with. And so we wanted to gather and grab our cup. To me, it's going to be a cup of cocoa tonight, but everybody was just wanting to grab a cup and say, how was your holiday? And are you traveling this time? Are you in Colorado? Or what's been going on in your life?
Well, for me, I'm in Colorado, but we've had one Christmas over the weekend where we had one group of family get together. We had one Christmas last night where we had a group of family get together. We have another Christmas tomorrow night for a group of family get together, as long as all of us can get back and forth across the mountains that are trying to get together.
So I saw that you were driving in some really heavy stuff earlier this week. We've not had snow in Alabama. We're in northern Alabama at the foothills of the Appalachia, but we have had rain, like monsoon rains yesterday. In fact, my children are in a blended family, and so most Christmases they head down to their parents and their grandparents in Arkansas because I have them the rest of the year, and the weather prevented them from going, and it was a very blessed last-minute Christmas Eve. We were together for the first time in 15 years as a family on Christmas Eve, and so it was a very special time with our youngest, our 18-year-old, and our 21-year-old, and then our older children were in Oklahoma watching the weather there as well, but we had a really lovely Christmas Eve dinner impromptu. You talk about perfectionistic going out the window. Girl, at 5 o'clock I didn't even know I was having company, but by 7 o'clock I had a beautiful table and we had a wonderful dinner, and that's what it's all about.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. And that's the same here. We've had fun with the way we've all gotten together, and each Christmas we have a theme, and so this was a comedy Christmas theme. So we've had lots of fun with different stories and sharing and funny gifts as well as ones that are, special for each individual.
Very fun. Today, since we had such a big celebration last night and the children were headed out different ways today, we're renovating a 1955 home on 3 acres out from town. And so my husband and I spent some time doing some quiet things this morning, having breakfast together and just being still. But this afternoon, the honey-do list came back out, and the mean wife said, could you help me move some stuff? So we actually rotated 3 rooms worth of things to the new area that we just built, and I was able to set up our in-house studio for the first time, and I was able to get the right table in the dining room that seats enough people and that sort of thing. So I feel like we had an accomplishing day, and I'm going to collapse tomorrow.
I understand that one. Today was a little peaceful in the sense that, like, we're in between the big Christmas celebrations and today, so it was just my mom and I today because my brother didn't make it down from Grand Junction. And so, but just to spend that time together, and I'm in the process of making another very special gift for my granddaughter, so time to do that, and it's just really nice to take time out and do that.
Oh, it is. My daughter got a new tool for our computer. We're both artists, and she got the, I can't even tell you the name of it right now, but anyway, it's a mechanical pen that captures her art on the computer at the same time she draws it with the mechanical pen. And we've had fun with that today, and it's been exciting. She's very much an avid photographer. She's extremely followed on some of the photogrounds, and I'm just a novice photographer, and I have visual issues sometimes, so I have to be really straining to see some of the things that I see. And I bought a camera that's somewhat like her DSLR at a nice high level as hers is, and we spent the weekend with her teaching me things and how to use it differently than I know how to do, and daring to see through my eyes and not just automatically push the button focus. So it's been a fun day of trying out new things, and certainly imperfectly. How many times do you think in your world do you see perfectionism hitting and shutting people down?
Oh, I think perfectionism is fairly often shutting people down, whether it be within my family or within my colleagues or within my clients, and just not being able to move forward. I can't get started. I don't know how to finish. Well, they're not getting started because they can't see themselves being able to perfect it at the end of it, or they've got it started and, well, I've got 35 pages done, but I have no idea where I'm going to go with this to be able to complete it, whether it's a doctorate dissertation, whether it's something for work. But to move forward, to even try to complete it, is really difficult for them because every sentence isn't perfect yet, or I can't get all the information I want in there right now, or there's no way I can compete or be compared to that individual.
Not recognize the value of beginning. One of the classes I teach talks about people begin at unawareness. If you're unaware of something, then you don't even know really the value of it. And the beauty is that sometimes in the beginning we become aware of an outcome that we didn't even perceive of when we started. So many of the things I have tried as an adult.
Okay, technology is being fun for us. I lost Sarah, and you're frozen, sweetie. Oh, goodness. She shut her down. Okay. Here she comes. Maybe.
There you are. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
No, we lost a connection. I don't know what happened. It just went away. All right. I know Sarah just went away too because she messaged me somewhere else saying she's there. All right. What I was talking about are some of the fun ways that we can do things at Christmas that allow us to get out of our own skin. And I said at our house that we often did puzzles and some no-stress things that weren't competition because, you know, my group of gifted kids are all into competition, so it's never just a simple puzzle or a simple game. It's how to win.
Yes, yes. And we do a lot of games, and we do strategy games, but what we also do then is team games so that we can work together and have fun. And then, like last night, we were just doing some charades, and there were no points, no teams. Everybody just had a choice of one to do, and it was all Christmas-related ones. So again, just adding in some of that fun, laughter, silliness that we can all relax at.
Well, and we love to do some storytelling, particularly when the children were little. We have 4 children, and particularly when they were smaller, we love to say a story beginning, and the story continued around the circle, and there was no right or wrong, that your part of the story had to go somewhere. And of course, we try to relate to Christmas or snowmen or something fun that was going on. And later, I had a child who even wanted to do geo-tracking with, you know, with the 3 wise men as they went to the sea, the King Jesus. But they got more complicated with their stories as they grew older, and it was a lot more fun because they brought in the facts they knew, trying to show off to each other. But at the same time, the only enjoyment was if you made the others laugh or gasp in surprise without it being something that was horrible or something that was a twist and turn, then we felt like that was the family point for doing something well.
Yeah, yes, yes, yes. And I guess that's so fun for us, is having a different theme, is that everybody brings something, and so we, you know, just share, whether it's a story, whether it's a play, whether it's a poem or whatever. And last night was more jokes and just fun stuff, but it depends on the theme, what we do, and it brings us all together, gives us something common to work toward as far as Christmas goes, to share, and it just kicks the evening off so everybody's having a good time.
Oh, I love it. So I understand that part of what you were doing before Christmas, and I know that wasn't part of this right now, that you've been doing some training with horses. Tell me about that.
Yes, I'm learning lots, and it's really interesting too of the clientele that comes out there that it needs. So it's where the counselor asks questions, but the horses are the ones that give most of the answers. And there's always 2 of us. We do it in a team fashion. It's just the style that we decide to use. I'm the counselor, and then I have a professional horse handler that's in the arena with me, and especially since I don't have a whole lot of horse experience.
Right,
So,
it takes time to learn that. It sure does.
yeah. So it's an adventure, but at the same time, it's pretty amazing on how sensitive the horses can be to what's going on.
You know, I work with Jim Swanner, who is a natural horsemanship trainer here in Athens, Alabama, and I also have been around Pat Pirelli, and I've worked with his media program, and as they do their teaching developmental things. And Pat, in fact, is coming back to Alabama in the spring. We're excited about that, and Jim Swanner will be featured with him. But the 2 of them both are seriously into healing through horsemanship. And, you know, Pat's son has special needs, as well as, you know, Jim Swanner works with just many, many people to overcome their fears and overcome their pains and overcome things that have happened in their life through learning to trust with the horse again. And it's just amazing to watch how that partnership happens and how hearts open up and wounds heal, and both the horse and the human do just so differently as they learn to handle each other.
Yeah, and this is the particular place I'm working is a rescue, so all the horses have their own stories, and that then brings out I'm fortunate to be where, like, I have maybe 15 different horses I can work with, so matching a need and a horse's response to a certain situation has really been an interesting way to make the discovery, the wounds to heal. And we're getting ready to start some vet programs, as well as we've got at-risk youth groups going right now, as well as individual and family sessions. So it's really exciting.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's exciting. I'm excited to see you in that program, and I'll be more excited to hear about it as we go. One of our focuses at Dear Whimsy and the Women of Dear Whimsy is we have amazing specialists in our group. We have everything from financial advisors to people who are mental health professionals to people who are creative specialists to people who are producers to product makers and creators and inventors. And one of the nice things about hanging out with clever women at Dear Whimsy is that you learn a lot of walks of life and you hear and understand about things that you may not have experienced yet, and from a place of another woman in business who's doing that. So we're having a lot of fun hearing the stories and sharing the stories and getting ready to run some of the special programs we're going to be doing in January and February. But these conversations over a cuppa are just fascinating to me. They're almost like an interview, but they're really just designed to bring in real life and everyday life. And as we've grown this thing for 3 to 4 weeks, people like Gail, Ronnie, and I have just gotten to know so much more about the women that we're sharing with, and we're hearing so many interesting things. And it's such a positive experience for Gail and I to hear people just share their hearts and to hear the same struggles with everything. So often, just silly things, like how do you manage the gifted child who does this, that, or the other, and hard things like what it's like to be the guy who's in charge, but at the same time not wanting to be in charge of everything, how to delegate and how to let people be who they are without trying to do their job or micromanage too, as we so often may want to do when you're a gifted child. You tend to want to get it done right, and so learning to delegate and learning to let go of those pieces of it's part of it too.
Well, yeah, and that's part of what I look at too, is not only do I want the individuals that I connect with to understand what their gifts are and what they excel in, but what areas do they have less skill in? What areas are they less exceptional in? And so how can they either build skills in that area or build a team that can meet those skills so that they can showcase more and give more in their own gifted area or in their own high ability area.
That's it. I deal with clients all the time, Edith, that I am continually helping them shift from a 90% focus on what they can't do well to a 70 to 9% focus on what they already do well, and to release and let go and restore some balance to their thinking about who they are. Because so many times I think gifted women think they have to be good at everything. And the truth is there's only 24 hours in the day, and we're only supposed to work about 5 to 8 hours of that a day. And so many of the women I work with that have been through the 60s and 70s and 80s in competition with